Hello, Aquarius. This is your tarot reading for Love and Relationships, June 2016. What is this? It's a Knight of Swords. Well, what do you know? That is your sign. That's your energy. Swords are air. Okay, I'm going to shuffle for just a few more seconds. Okay. Your next card is a Queen of Cups reversed. Could be a very jealous, insecure person here. I have Seven of Swords. So right out of the gate, a lot of swords here. 2 out of 3 swords for you, Aquarius. 5 of Pentacles. 3 of Wands. I have a Queen. Oh, not a Queen. I have the Empress reversed. But in a way, the Empress is the mother of all the queens. The other queens are sort of like sisters to her or daughters to her. So the Empress is a queen, but she's the top or the major energy as far as the female energy in the tarot. I have the Hermit in reverse. I have a King of Wands. And I have a Knight of Cups. Okay, and then I will pull an outcome card near the end of the reading. I want to just point out a couple things here. It's interesting when, and I've been noticing it for this month of readings, that yes, sometimes when we get court cards, we have a Knight of Swords, a Queen of Cups, a King of Wands, a Knight of Cups. These don't always have to represent, excuse me, actual people. I know that you're in here somewhere, I think. But what happens when we have a King of Wands or a Knight of Cups? Does this mean more people, that you're going to leave one person and have a relationship? I try not to look at things that simplistically, because in the bigger picture, these are all cards that don't necessarily address so much the specifics of one particular person, because this is your energy. Air is your energy, so it actually might be very relevant to you. But when we have these other court cards pop up, we can still be looking at still the same person, or we could be looking at how a particular situation is evolving. We are looking at how the connection or the relationships between people are evolving, the influence of certain actions and decisions. So I'm not necessarily seeing a lot of people here. For instance, when we go to this Queen of Cups reverse, yes, someone that you're connected to might be a little dramatic, a little emotional. They could still be a water sign. And I know a lot of you who've looked at the videos have come and asked me, well, the person I'm involved with is a Virgo, or they're Aries. So even though this situation applied to me, I don't see this person in here. Let's try to open things up a little bit and not be so strict so much. And I think that's a little bit of my fault. because yes, I do tend to see people when I see court cards. But it's also important to understand that your energies can evolve and change too. Even though you're an air sign, that the way you react to certain situations or the decisions that you make can change and shift in a particular circumstance. And I said this before in a different video as well. You should always explore getting your astrological birth chart, because the astrological birth chart will not only have just your sun sign, it will have your moon sign, your ascendant. It will look at where all the planets are and what house they're in. In the house of love, Venus might be in that house. You might have certain planets in the 12th house or the 11th house or the 10th house. The first house, which is important, not only is it your sun sign, but let's say that if you are Aquarius, not only will you have your sun in that sign, but you could also have a moon in that sign. So your when we look at air signs and earth signs and water signs and astrological signs, as we look at the tarot and the connection to the tarot, understand that it's much more complex and detailed than what we think, because we all have a little bit of all the elements here. And it could be that when it comes to career and finance, we're very much, we could be a sun sign for air. Our Aquarius could be our sun sign. But that simply means that that's in your first house, and that addresses your personality and your sense of self. But in career finance, you could be very much a Capricorn. In love, you could be very much a Pisces or Scorpio. Okay? So keep that in mind, that as I continue to do these readings, I don't want people to start getting in the habit of saying, oh, this represents a new person or something like that. Sometimes that happens, and I always try to open up to see if that's going to happen. So, we have this King of Wands showing up, and the King of Wands can represent the actions of a man or a woman. And then we have a Knight of Cups, which is this new emotional energy, this opening up of emotional energy that's coming in the future. So, let's just to give you sort of like a heads up. This doesn't always have to be, when we see these court cards, different people. Although I do tend to see this Knight of Swords and Queen of Cups, they're right next to each other. And I am seeing a connection between the two of them. And seeing that the swords are your energy as air. I'm seeing how I'm using this to guide me on how you're dealing with a certain situation. This lets me know that it's definitely something that is applying to you in this situation. Okay? So, having said that, I probably talked much more than I should have. Your major arcana cards, you have the Empress in reverse and the Hermit in reverse. Now, when the Empress is in reverse, we have a decrease in romantic love, this female sensuality and energy. Maybe Um, the romantic energies of the relationship are diminished. The Empress is all about love, by the way. She's very much attached to love. Female fertility, she's a goddess. Sometimes, in certain contexts, I see the Empress as a woman a man is in love with, a new woman of interest. It can actually mean motherhood as well, that um, if you have children or if you're trying to have children, the Empress can be a good indicator of fertility. Although I try to avoid fertility readings or predicting, if a baby's coming or not. But in this instance here, I do see this as romantic energy and it's kind of reversed. Maybe there's too much romantic energy, indulgence, sensuality, being in love too much. Okay, if this is reversed, it can be sort of like overwhelming romantic feelings. And sometimes it's not good to be led by your romantic feelings so much that you're not grounded and stable and you're not able to think clearly. And air signs, especially Libras and Aquarius, there's a tendency to idealize love, to look for the perfect relationship. And when we do find a relationship, we tend to put it on a pedestal. Our view of that relationship tends to be distorted. So I'm starting to see this as overwhelming romantic feelings of attachment. Sometimes it can mean a woman, a particular woman. The Empress, in most interpretations, the Empress never refers to a man. It refers to a woman specifically. And so a woman in love, a woman having overwhelming feelings of love who needs to be adored. Excuse me. Sometimes the Empress indicates or gives me a sense of self-esteem if it's reversed, losing yourself, giving up who you are for the sake of a relationship sometimes. I'm not saying that's you in this instance, but it could be that in this relationship, the emotions and feelings are so overwhelming, this connection is so strong that it's preventing, it's getting in the way of being a little bit grounded and stable. And I'll get to this Five of Pentacles in a little bit here. Also, the Seven of Swords reversed. But the other major arcana card you have here is the Hermit in reverse. And sometimes that can be a good thing as well, because usually this Hermit, it's about seeking guidance. It's a lot of soul searching. And air signs are famous for that. You are definitely famous for that, Aquarius. Thinking and living within your head. Sometimes you can overthink. Maybe this could be loneliness, overwhelming isolation from a partner. And so when this is reversed, the Hermit can mean that you're not going to be alone, because then this leads into this very strong energy here with the King of Wands. Taking control, leading, going forward. A new inspiration, the kings are about ruling. They're more active. They interact with the outer world, external circumstances. They go outwards. Queens come inward. And so when I see this Hermit next to this King of Wands, I'm seeing a definite shift from loneliness and isolation, thinking within your head, to some type of shift within a relationship to where things start to move forward. There's more action and less thinking. Okay. So those are your two major arcana cards. And the story that I'm seeing here is that maybe you are dealing with overwhelming feelings and emotions here, or maybe there's an emotional overload in the relationship for both people. The Hermit here can mean that you are no longer isolating yourself. The Hermit is about reaching out. When the Hermit's reversed, it means reversing, staying. It's a reversal of all the soul searching. Sometimes if the Hermit's in reverse, yes, it is negative. Maybe it means that you need to be alone and you need to think things through. And you're not taking time to detach from the situation. It can also mean that if you are alone or dealing with a difficult situation that you're trying to understand, because you could still be in a relationship and have the Hermit card show up. The Hermit can sometimes mean that you're trying to connect with a situation, trying to find understanding within a relationship. And so when this is reversed, it's definitely a reversal of it's a reversal of this isolation and solitary journey, but it can also mean a reversal of finding that understanding as well. So I'm not willing to necessarily say this is a bad thing that your Hermit is reversed, because maybe sometimes we need to stop living in our heads and participating in the real world, taking steps forward, and like I said, doing, not thinking. So going back, you have a Three of Wands in the center. So wands seem to be very important for you because this fire gets its energy from air. And it's quite possible that when these wands are showing up, that this is a stronger energy for you. Your air is turning or nurturing a fire, motivation, taking action, planning this future. This is about success. It's about having strong intentions for a particular outcome, making plans. Okay? And so these wands are showing up here I think that's definitely a good thing for you, Aquarius. When we get different energies, different elements showing up, sometimes that's a good thing for us. Maybe we need to get out of our element. We can't be air all the time. I think sometimes we need a little bit of fire. So far in this relationship, I'm seeing you dealing with someone's emotional ups and downs. And then I have the Seven of Swords. And this can mean secrets are revealed, certain information is revealed. No one is hiding anything from you. And as I've said in so many other readings, sometimes this can mean dishonesty. If it's upright, sometimes it does mean cheating. But because this Seven of Swords is reversed, I'm kind of seeing this as a revelation. Something's being revealed about this Queen of Cups here, about this other person. And as I said, this Queen of Cups, when it's reversed, we have a reversal of emotions going up and down, someone who could be even moody or depressed, someone who is emotionally unavailable as well. And so I see you trying to deal with that. And it's interesting that you're going, the Knight of Swords is facing this direction, away from this Queen of Cups. And the Knight of Swords is also facing away from this Seven of Swords, which is supposed to be revealing certain things about the relationship, or certain, it could also mean that you are also opening up, because swords are your energy. It could also mean that you're not keeping secrets, you're being open and vulnerable as well. And so I might come back to this because I think it's interesting that just looking at the literal representation, this Knight of Swords is running away from a Queen of Cups. I don't know if you're running away from a relationship. Maybe this Queen of Cups is pushing you away. And so when I come back to the Seven of Swords, I kind of get a sense that it's not just about secrets being revealed or honesty. It could be that you might get actually a little defensive, that this is actually an increase. Sometimes energies are amplified when a card is reversed. So instead of this just being about keeping secrets or dishonesty, and I'm not saying you're being dishonest, if it's reversed, this could actually mean that you're more defensive, that you've had to protect yourself. Okay? But the interesting thing is, as I go to this next row, I kind of see this poverty card, this loneliness and alienation. Sometimes this can mean not having support. And as I said, feeling isolated. If this is, sometimes this is directly related to money. That it's a fear of being poor, losing money, doing without, and looking for help. And it can also mean that there is help available. You just don't see it yet. But in your circumstance, Aquarius, I see this as you dealing with a difficult relationship situation that might have hurt you. That if you tried to protect yourself, this Queen of Cups could have hurt you. And once again, this Queen of Cups can be a man or a woman. And for some reason, this Queen of Cups hurt you. Your defenses were down. And so we get to this Five of Pentacles, where we do feel lonely and isolated. So now the Hermit takes on a different meaning, because I see you going through this situation to where you don't feel lonely or isolated, that someone is going to be supportive of you, which is why this King of Wands is showing up. Okay, so this is all about, these Three of Wands, seizing control of your destiny, the relationship moving forward, building a future. But it seems like this Queen of Cups has made things very difficult. This emotional person who's moody and inconsistent, and you are having difficulty just maintaining balance with that person because they keep hurting you. And I think sometimes it can be draining, and you don't feel this person is being supportive in the relationship. And single people, I haven't quite forgotten about you, but I will give you an interpretation where single people, if you're not in a relationship, or even if you're if you have feelings for someone and you want to know what's going to happen with that person, I think that looking at these cards in the present situation, I do see being overwhelmed and isolated. I see waiting and hoping to move forward here with the wands. And then in the Empress, I do see this overwhelming emotions, being in love so much. And this could be this Queen of Cups as well. I can see a connection between this Empress and the Queen, that this person who's hurt you doesn't really have a handle on their emotions. So that's another meaning that's evolving here. That someone's emotions are out of control. Maybe they're hurting you, maybe they're insecure. And because of those overwhelming emotions and the way they're behaving, they are hurting you. And they are making you feel helpless. So when I get to this last card here, this last row, I can see a stability in feelings, a stability in the relationship. This could actually, this Queen of Cups reverse evolving into a Knight of Cups upright could actually mean that emotions are becoming more stable in the relationship. Maybe this person is going to, in some of your situations, I can see an apology. I can see a confrontation because this King of Wands is facing the Hermit reversed. But there does seem to be, at the very end, some type of emotional stability here, where here in the beginning I didn't quite see it. But it could definitely also mean a stability in the relationship. Knights are about action, and that maybe for those of you in a relationship, this is about emotionally moving forward here, that this relationship will get back on track. And maybe this loneliness and isolation that sort of started evolving here comes to an end, that there is sort of like a discussion or conversation. But this problem, this how can I say it? It just feels like this relationship has taken away your energy. And it seems like you're getting your energy back. You're no longer isolated or lonely. And that emotionally, not just you are able to emotionally move forward, but this other person as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and shuffle for the outcome card. Okay. Okay, so I have this Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So I have another queen that's showing up here. Two knights, two queens, and a king. Please excuse me. I'm recovering from another cold. I seem to have had one. I work with students and I'm always picking up something, so I apologize. So, an outcome. What does this mean? A Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Still a little bit of stability. I see this as this person who's been emotionally all over the place is going to still continue moving forward with you for those of you in a relationship. But I don't think you'll find your stability just yet. Sometimes this Queen of Pentacles, which are Earth, it's about being logical and practical, good with money. And I don't want to just rule out money not being an issue with some of you. I think money for a lot of relationships is a huge issue. But when a queen is reversed, and remember what I said about kings, they have their energy goes outward. Queens, their energy comes inward. And so when I see this Queen of Pentacles reversed, I see still some internal instability here. You might still not feel comfortable in this relationship just yet. The relationship still might be on shaky ground with this person here who hurt you. And I'm interpreting that in the broadest sense of the word. I know that this Seven of Swords, as far as hurting, it could mean a lot of different things for some of you in different situations. But it seems to me the tarot is telling you, if you are in a relationship, there's going to be a sort of a temporary phase to where you and this person will not be connected, even though you might feel overwhelming emotions. Maybe this person isn't thinking clearly. Maybe there's a little bit of emotional instability that's having a negative effect on you. And the tarot is telling you that if you're hoping for things to get better, I think that this situation will shift a little bit. That maybe there's a discussion that you have with a particular person, that you're no longer isolated, that maybe you reach out or this person reaches out to you and there is a meaningful discussion that will happen. And this person emotionally will open up to you or be more emotionally, being able to move forward emotionally in the relationship. They'll no longer be emotionally unavailable, which is one of my interpretations earlier. But this Queen of Pentacles is showing up as if to say that there are still some things, trust issues, that need to be worked out with this person as well. The things that make a relationship stable, such as trust and honesty and stability, those things might not, that relationship still might be on shaky ground. So I would see this as a warning here in the tarot that you need to just be a little bit more careful. And don't completely trust this person yet because they might still hurt you. It doesn't mean that the relationship still can't go forward, because I'm always aware that, the prevailing question for some of you is whether a relationship will work out or whether a relationship will happen with a particular person. That I would say that this card, this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, is saying wait and see. Don't be too sure yet. You might get a lot of optimism here. But don't open yourself up completely. Guard yourself. And I think that's why this King of Wands is showing up as well. Guarding yourself, keeping your boundaries, along with emotional balance with this person. They might be coming to you and saying, oh, I miss you, I love you. But this Queen of Pentacles in reverse is sort of like a little warning not to, don't step out on the ice just yet. The ice still might be a little shaky. I don't know. That's the analogy that came to me. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull your angel oracle card. And this oracle card can come from your spirit guide. Some of you believe in spirit guides. That's great. Some of you might believe in guardian angels or just a higher power. That's fine. So these are just messages to sort of give you some insight and to help you with your journey or your situation. Okay. So I'm going to pick one card here. Okay, and this is actually probably very applicable to you, Aquarius. This card is called Fairies, and you might not believe in them. But it says, I hope you can read that. It says, you have a strong bond with the fairies, and your life purpose involves helping Mother Nature. Interesting. So maybe there's been some gardening in your life. Maybe you love to garden, go hiking. Maybe you're into helping the environment. It could also apply to someone else as well. And I think it's interesting that this is next to the Queen of Pentacles reverse. This could be about finding that emotional, not just emotional, it could mean finding that physical stability, because Earth is all about the physical. Pentacles are all about the physical energy, your body, being aware of your body in nature as well. Okay, so in summary, Aquarius, you might really love this person and want to trust them, but don't be so quick, considering that you might have gotten hurt before and that this person still may not have a handle on their emotions. So still be cautious, because the situation with this person could still be a little unstable. That is the summary of this entire spread. I want to thank everybody for their comments. I haven't had a chance to respond to everybody like I usually do. I've been very busy giving readings, but I do read all the comments. And I do appreciate it when people tell me, oh, you nailed it, that was spot on. Because each time I do these readings, I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to be completely off base. I try not to manifest that. But if you want a detailed reading, you're more than welcome to contact me. I also offer video readings that do not require a meeting or a phone consultation. You can request a video reading on a particular situation, and I can make a video just about that situation. Okay, so look in my description. I have a link to my appointment book where you can look at my services and my email. If you've been trying to contact me through YouTube, please try to contact me through email. That is the quickest way to reach me. If you post a message on YouTube, I may not see it for a couple weeks because I have a huge backlog of YouTube comments that I have to review. Okay? But I do thank you. Thank you for the donations. I thank everybody for purchasing readings from me. I'm really happy and I'm honored to do these for you. And even if you're just looking at the videos and they're finding them helpful and you have a question, um, that's wonderful. I appreciate it. I'll try to get to any questions that you've posted for this month. And so, Aquarius, that's your reading. I hope to talk to some of you pretty soon. I hope you're having a wonderful summer, and I will see you next month.